All right, guys. Today we got Brent Albury on. He has done a lot to get to Florida here, and I'm pretty excited to hear about it. He brought his team, Austin and Garrett, with him, and they are here for the all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive shootout. And there's a lot of interesting things I want to hear about that because that race is going to be interesting, and there's a lot of weird rules that I feel like kind of hurt you guys as rear-wheel drive racers.
Yeah, I would definitely say there's some rules that were maybe put in place to give the all-wheel drive a little bit more an advantage, if I would say. The no fluid burnout and whatnot, and I mean, of course, like a water puddle burnout is a decent advantage, I'd say, or taking that away is kind of really does hinder our program. So definitely some weird stuff, But then of course you see there's the birth of these butthurt bars and these big wings and all these crazy things, and of course Joey was the originator of the butthurt bar, right? And everybody kind of followed along. I'll admit I made fun of it for a while, and then I was like, oh man, no burnout, no fluid burnout. Hey, Papa, we're going to have to build one of them butthurt bars, like, oh man, it's just, if you can't beat them, join them, right? So.
Well, they do work. I mean, he's proved that it actually isn't just like a meme, that it does really work.
No, I mean, there is physics behind it, and I have the proofs in the pudding. I've done it. I've taken significantly less weight out and put a fraction of the weight out further, and it works. It's physics. There's no arguing it. It's just kind of Ghey, right? Isn't that how you say that? So
I think that's the appropriate spelling of that.
Yeah, but it's 2025, so it's cool to be that nowadays. So whatever, we'll join the club.
Exactly.
So,
my friend Poland is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we're here. We're having fun. All the wings and butthurt bars and stuff are gonna be cool to see. It looked like every F-150 I've seen so far had a big old wang on it. So I'm curious to see how this goes. I think if the 60-foot's there, I think the rear-wheel drive is going to have a really good advantage. If the 60-foot is a lot better than what we're anticipating it being. That's just my opinion. But
what do you anticipate it to be then?
From the videos that I've seen, it looks to be fairly better than what was meant to be told in the beginning, I guess.
Like, what would be like I don't know, I guess how much do you disclose that stuff? Like, what would be a bad 60-foot on a NoPrep? What would be like a true bare surface NoPrep?
Yeah, they say there's all kinds of different variations of NoPrep, that you can go to a NoPrep track surface and 60-foot 120s, no problem, I mean, I'm sure there's guys at 60-foot better than that. I've never really hit my car super hard out of the 60-foot. Like on a track NoPrep surface, we've been 120s. And on like a bare street, like a hit that we just made the other day in front of the shop was a 153 with no water, like no burnout, no nothing.
Trying to replicate what you're about to do.
Try to do a little dry hop, you know what I mean, to kind of clean the tires off or whatever, and, we went 150s. So I think that the surface from the videos I've seen is going to allow a little bit better 60-foot. But we won't know until we get there. I've still never seen it. I've only had some pictures sent to me, and you see some videos online from like the last event that they had out there. So it looks okay, but looks are deceiving. I'm from Arizona. That's where I've done all my racing. That's where I've made my name, made my claim to fame. I was a nobody and then kind of got a car and got hooked. You know what I mean? I thought it was going to be a temporary thing, and it wasn't. So I guess what I'm saying with that is I'm used to racing on roads that you look at them and you're like, oh man, there's a lot of rubber on this road. But when you actually try to 60-foot or you try to go down that road, you're like, man, like it looks dark. It looks like it's good, but it's not taking any rubber whatsoever. So I'm curious. I'm really curious to kind of get out there and walk the track and actually see how it feels,
Well, it's interesting, too, because you guys are like a team, so realistically, you guys should almost have a powwow and see what you guys think the road will take versus normally you wouldn't talk to,
a lot of
Casey
these guys,
Max or
a lot of these
Tommy
guys.
and Billy, like, hey, what should we do here? That's not your competition. You guys are all trying to...
We're all on a team, man. We all have the same goal, and I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. I mean, I'm a team player, man. I mean, I'm all my buddies can vouch for you. I want everybody to win just as much as I want to win. You know what I mean? So I'm all for doing whatever we got to do for the team to win. I think I proved that when we got called to Vegas for that Fastest in America or whatever, when we were on Team Cali, Well, I'm a team player. I want everyone to win. I don't mind sharing. I don't have much data to share. I don't have sensors. I don't have trash control, so my data is kind of useless to those guys. But their data doesn't really help me very, very much. The experience and stuff that a lot of those guys have is what I really like to gain. I like to pay attention and learn how the faster guys power manage or how they run their program. There's different things that I like to look at and pay attention to, and there might be things that I kind of take and implement into my program because you got to copy the fast guys. They're fast for a reason, right? I made that quite aware a long time ago when I first started talking to Callie Nate and stuff. I told Callie Nate, I want to beat you, bro. Like, I want to race you. I want to beat you. I want to be you. Like, I want to be the budget version of Callie Nate. Like, I want to be that guy that rolls up and is like, man, everybody's like, I don't want to race him, And he was a prime example of that, And he was a prime example of just watching and learning and gaining so much knowledge just from watching. My program excelled so much just from watching and learning and asking questions,
It's funny because like 3 days ago, me and my son were just watching videos where he was in it, and I was like, oh, wow, it's so weird to see him racing, like the one where they were on the border of Mexico, and then we were watching on cable.
Yeah, I was there at that
he pops
race.
up on Street Outlaws, and I'm like, oh, man, it's like, it's crazy.
He was a huge, rest in peace, man. He was a huge part of my program, a huge part of my success. I have of course, the pocketbook friends, like my boy Tim Rigby and then all the Outlaw guys and the guys from Kingman. Garrett's one of the original guys too. I have all those people that have really pushed me from the beginning. My boy Brad Fahey's been a A1 day one tuning and doing fab for me, but Nate really pushed me to want to take this a lot more serious, It's still a hobby. It's still something we do for fun at the end of the day. But he really pushed me to like, hey, man, like you're pretty good. You're pretty good at this. You have a handle in the car. Some people will spend $100,000 on a small tire car and can't get out of the 6s and the 8th. You know what I mean? And it's just how it is. It's just some people have a knack for certain things. I can't ride a wheelie on a dirt bike or nothing like that. I'm going to fall over. You know what I mean? Like, there's just some people that are gifted with certain things, I guess. And I like cars, and trying to get down really junk, crappy surfaces is just something that I've kind of prided myself on, And
it seems like a fun skill and a completely different skill than, I'm a radial tire guy. I've never even attempted to get down on like a true crappy surface. I've been to some tracks where I'm like, oh, surface sucks. And I'm like... It's probably still pretty good relatively.
To me, it's a big flex to be able to like the other day when we thrashed on motor number 7 to try to get here, which we'll get there in a moment. But when we were thrashing in the shop and we finished and we get everything done and we heat cycle everything and we pull right out in front of just a bare asphalt road that we're in Mexico, right? Like the cars that were driving by on the videos were computer generated. They weren't really there. But, to pull up on a regular public street.
Make it look real.
Yeah. To pull up on a regular public street and, run pretty decent into the 5s without doing really a burnout, without the surface is just a regular daily driven street. It's not a surface that has no test hits whatsoever. It's not like it's virgin because we go out there and we test with water only or whatever. Like, it's just a normal A to B regular street, So, I think that's a skill that really is it's cool. Not a lot of people are into that. A lot of people give up. I myself, when I first started doing that type of racing, was one that I wanted to give up. I was like, oh man, I need some prep. Pour me some prep. Let's paint this road 700 feet out with prep, on the street. Let's roll with prep out and light it on fire and do all this stuff, and which is cool. Don't get me wrong, I love that stuff, and there's a lot of nostalgia and stuff that comes with that, but I really thought it was pretty awesome, like, to see a car run anywhere in the 5-second or whatever range on just a regular virgin asphalt road that is nothing.
Yeah,
I think that really does take a little bit different skill set, and to do it not trying to brag on myself whatsoever, because I have a huge team of people that really help me with knowledge and just knowledge that's basically burned into my brain, because I don't have data. I don't have a laptop that I save tunes on or anything like that. Like, I don't power manage with the Holly. I don't have trash control. I don't have a wheel speed sensor. I don't have ride height sensors, nothing. Like, I have an O2 sensor, water temp sensor, and oil. That's literally all I have.
But you have a Dominator in it?
I do now have a Dominator in it.
So it's just the least equipped Dominator of all time?
I use a boost leash to power manage and boost control. Shout out to Boost Leash. I love that product. It's super awesome. It fits my program perfectly well. I love Holley. Shout out Holley. I love them. I love the product. I love Holley stuff. But
it's a great ECU. I mean, it's been around for feels like 20 years now.
Yeah, it's amazing, and all the technology and stuff that they have, it really is amazing. And I think I'm going to start to lean on using a little bit more of the technology they offer. But for the past few years, where everybody's seen on like all these Street Outlaw shows and stuff, where all the success that I've had with my program, we haven't had nothing on there. Like I probably in the 2 or 3 years that we've really been on the uphill climb, I say, with our small tire racing or NoPrep racing stuff, I can honestly say I've probably opened the laptop 15 times maybe in those 2 or 3 years.
So you were just mostly using the boost leash and just...
Yeah, I mean, I don't save tunes. I mean, my tuner would yell at me and scream at me, like, you need to look at a data log. What are you doing? Like, what if you blow it up? I'm like, well, it's going to blow up. It's going to blow up. What am I going to change? I can't change it. And he's like, no, we can change it.
There's definitely... I'm not even a tuner and you're giving me a headache.
Yeah, for sure. No, but we've had a very successful program. Like, we've never played with timing.
Who lets this guy do this?
We've never played with timing. Like, he tunes it. We pull it up on a dyno. He tunes it, sets the timing, leaves it alone. We've never played with timing. We don't give it timing. We don't pull timing. I don't have any timing retard off the hit. So we don't really need to have a tuner involved. The only thing I'm doing is power managing with boost. And I know that there's better ways to do it, for sure. There's way better ways to do it. But I think that my way works pretty good for what I'm doing and the type of racing that I'm doing, And hey, man, I stay in my lane. You don't see me on those radio tracks going over there. Hey, man, if I could do this, this, and this, I'm going to be over there backing y'all up, Like,
I'm when something goes wrong, that's when the laptop comes out type of guy. That's when the data is really nice. When everything's going great,
for sure.
I don't touch the laptop. I don't need it.
I don't have EGT sensors. Like, I don't have much that I could really see in the form of data. Like, right now, the issues and stuff that we've been fighting, it's just kind of guesswork because, we have the basics from the Holley, but we don't know, like, man, are we blowing spark out? Are we losing, is one of the is the dwell on the coil messed up? Like, do we have maybe an issue with our harness? Is it getting noise from somewhere else? Are the spark plug wires touching each other and it's auto-firing? Like, there's so many different factors.
Might as well just be a carbon nitrous at that point.
Right, might as well just put a carburetor on it and take all that fancy stuff off.
Twist the distributor when you want a little more.
But I am going to work on definitely kind of learning how to utilize that stuff more or implement that stuff more into my program. It's not so much even learning how to use it. It's really user friendly. It's just about implementing it into my program and starting to lean on that. But I've learned from a lot of old school guys, man. I've learned from a lot of the guys that they didn't have trash control. They didn't have all that stuff back then, and they were fast, Like, there was guys going fast back in the day without that stuff. So my philosophy was, if you could make the car work and you could get the suspension set up before you add the trash control, you're going to be light years ahead of the guy that just buys everything and throws trash control on it, and it's like, all right, cool, make this trash control, make my car go down. We can make the car go down. The car can go down A to B on almost any surface. Like, I think I can get down any surface. Now we add a trash control. Now we can start getting down the surface faster, And I understand how it all works, and I want to learn it all. But man, we're on a budget too. You know what I mean? Like, we got
I definitely got that
Cracker
one.
Jack box built. You know what I mean? I got some solid people that help me now. But
on the other side of the country right now.
Yeah, And I started out in AZ. We started out with just a little cast 5.3. I mean, we started out with some stuff that should not have been doing what it's been doing. And I told my boy here. Me and my boy we've been friends for, man, I can't even tell you, probably 18 years or so. And we told each other when we were younger, you're going to set a goal in life and you got to stick to it. And my goal was just to race. And once I kind of got the bug and I figured it out, I mean, I've only been racing for 6 years or something like that, and once I got the bug, I was just hanging around watching people race and watching this stuff and watching these cars. And I was like, I need one of those. Like, that's what I want to do. Like,
we probably started around the same time then and kind of the same thought process too.
And I had 11-second, 12-second bolt-on cars at the time. I was into cars, but I wanted it to have AC. I would drive it to the track, and I mean, also times have changed a lot. Back in the day, if you drove, not back in the day, but even 10, 15 years ago, you drove a 12-second or 11-second car 4 hours to the track, run 11s, and then drive 4 hours home. Like, that was badass, you know? Nowadays, like, if you don't go to the track and run like an 8 and then drive it home, you're like, peasant, you know? Like, it's crazy. The times change, the technology, the engines, just everything. This whole entire entity of racing is just evolving like crazy.
Well, even with my Camaro, like, the thought was it's too slow not to do a drag and drive. And it's been 770s.
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
It's like, but the sentiment was still like, it's too slow not to be like a real street car like that. And I was like, it's pretty fast, but okay, I guess you're not wrong. Like,
yeah, so
it's a 7-second car, but
yeah. Anyway, so I got the goal in mind that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of be a no prep street racer and stick to it and do that and learn and advance
and you've done the Street Outlaws stuff.
Yeah, we've had a good time. We've done a few of the different shows. We did like the Fastest in America. We've done the Mega Cash Days. We were on the Race Night in America. They had JJ the Boss versus Arizona, and I was like the team captain for Arizona and stuff. So it was cool. I mean, it was a very amazing experience to go from watching this stuff on TV to actually being involved in it. There's a lot of people in the race world that hate on the TV show, or they hate on everything involved, or this and that, and man, I'm not a hater in anything. I want everyone to win, and no matter what they're doing. And it was a very successful, awesome experience in my book. It was awesome for me. You know what I mean? And maybe that was because I had a successful race car program, and we showed up. We put in work. You know, we started to make a name for ourselves. The very first night that we showed up on the show, we went to the finals. You know, and in the Fastest in America, and we lost to Stefco, but we didn't lose by very much. And it was just awesome. It's just an all around great experience. You know.
I've always heard good things. Everybody that goes to those races, especially like the no prep king, like they're smaller locals only or cool. Something like that. Like,
and we've done the locals only stuff too. That was a great time, you know. And we'll be on the episode that they are airing it. I think it's like April 1st. I won't be in that one, but we'll be in the finals of that episode again. And we were in that same thing last year. We won the Arizona episode, and we went to the finals in Ohio and stuff. So. Around.
That's old now, though, too, right?
Old. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like a year and a half old. That's just about to come out.
And it's just about to come out. Yeah, we weren't even sure if it was going to get aired or not. Like
I didn't think it would.
I had like a bunch of content and stuff that I had saved that I was going to make a video for and stuff, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to delete this stuff because I don't want to make a video and then be like, oh, well, we're not showing your stuff because you posted a public video. Or I was like, man, it was cool.
Is that something they would do?
I don't know. I just didn't want to take a chance. I mean,
I didn't know if that was like a thing that people knew.
Well, I mean, they would ask you like not to post. Please don't post any of your own YouTube stuff until they post their public stuff, which they have TV shows. So
it's a long time though.
It's hard though. It's hard. Yeah, and especially this has been like
2 years,
a year and a half, 2 years. Like. I just didn't want to take a chance, man. So I never made a video out of it, and I'm really excited to see that episode air. It should be killer. I remember a wheelie and half track because our stupid no prep car is not supposed to be on a sticky track surface, and that Texas Motorplex was stickier than anything we'd ever been on. And like I was stacking weight on the front and stuff and still doing 330-foot wheelies. It was not very fun. I mean, it was fun.
Well, that's like one of those tracks where it's like BMP.
Yeah.
They can't do a no prep there because it's just Wade isn't capable of it.
Yeah. It's there. It's embedded. You could scrape it. It's still going to be a 60 foot.
It's still there. And unfortunately, TJ just passed at Texas Motorplex, right?
Yeah.
And he was the prep guy there.
Rest in
kind
peace,
of the same deal, He's just one of those guys that had that track so dialed in.
Yep.
Same as BMP type of thing. And yeah, that's a tough one for a slick tire, I'd imagine.
Yeah, for sure. And
you just air it up a bunch.
Yeah, and that's why everybody's like, "How come you're not on a radio or at least a radio slick?" And I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be honest with everyone on the podcast. Like, I've made 2 hits in my entire life on a drag radio, and I almost flipped over backwards both times. Like the second hit. It came, so the quick story or whatever. So we're at that Mexico, the Border Wars race you're talking about with Nate, right? And Nate had talked me into putting a radio on. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, it's 2 tenths. It's 2 tenths. Well, I had a number that I wanted to go on the street out there in California. Like I wanted to go 4s on the street. I was very, very close. And he was like, you put a radio on it, dude? Like, you're not far away. We can do some stuff, but we can get there. We're not far off. So I put a brand new radio on it. I go out there to test, very first hit, and I try to power manage a radio like a slick. Not what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to power manage a radio like a slick. So it goes out, and I pull power out of it because I'm like, I don't know what this thing's going to do. So I pull a little bit of power out of it thinking, all right, on a slick, I pull some power out. It'll just kind of go down or whatever, you know. You dead hook the tire with a radio, like, you're doing a wheelie. You're going to look at the stars. So we did a quick little just real quick, you know, first gear. I kind of panicked, slammed down, whatever. Everything was good. It was like my first time doing an actual bumper drag, huge, insane wheelie, you know. I've been in that car for maybe 4 or 5 months racing at this point now, you know, and maybe a little longer than that. And so we're still kind of learning fast car stuff and, you know, how it all works and all that.
Well, the weight's all in the wrong spot for a radial tire car.
Completely wrong spot.
You'd have to also move the weight probably.
And I'm thinking
at least just out of the back.
Yep. And I'm thinking, man, we're going to the street, so it's just going to be exactly how I power manage with the slick. Everything's going to be the same. So I make my first hit, almost flip over backwards. I go back to the trailer, and I'm like, all right, well, with a slick, like when it wheelies with a slick, you pull power out of it, it's because you stuck the tire. So you need to put power back in it. You need to get some wheel speed. So my goofy ass went back to the pit and put more power in it and brought the ramp in faster. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to shock the tire and get some wheel speed. Like, that's what I do with a slick, right? Like, I hit it hard. Like, it wheelied. All right, we're going to hit it harder.
Yeah, get it moving.
Not what you do with a radial. Not at all. It came up so violent. It was insane. And I tried to, like, ride it out. Ended up slamming down on top of the curb, and we Lightning McQueen the whole front end of the car. Like, it was just, you know what I mean? Like, nice. We bent both struts. We tackled the K-member. It was a good time. So I've never put a radial back on.
I mean, you might want to try again.
I do want to try again for sure.
Maybe just move the weight.
Yeah, for sure. I just try to do too many things at once. You know, I'm always doing like that slick dirt road type racing. You know what I mean? So it was just a last minute. I didn't ask no questions. You know, Nate's over here, hey, stupid, why didn't you ask? And I'm like, man, I hate bugging you. You know, you helped me out with already a lot of stuff. So I'm not trying to bug you or whatever, this and that. And he's like, dude, that could have been so worse. You know, like, I mean, you got to rebuild the whole front of your car right now, but that could have been way worse.
Was he running My Little Pony then on a radial at the time?
Yep.
Okay.
He was on a Hoosier DBR.
I didn't even realize he was on a Hoosier. I guess I probably just saw Hoosier and I assumed.
Yep. Yeah, he was on a lot of people didn't realize that he was on a DBR back then. Like, it was kind of right when that tire was kind of becoming hot, and like not a lot of people, I wouldn't say not a lot of people knew about it, but not a lot of people knew about the success that some people were having, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Nate went very fast with that tire, and that's what motivated me to try it, because I was like, man, I want to get there, you know? Like, I want to get to that number. There's a lot of people that have been very fast with that tire. That's a very, very fast tire. I like that tire, especially for marginal surfaces too. For a radial to work on a marginal surface, that DBR is pretty nasty.
So, do you think anybody tomorrow will have that, or do you think they're all going to be on the slickest of the slick?
Man, I don't know. I've talked with a lot of my OG homies like Tim and stuff, and I really think that there's some benefits to running that DBR over a slick on this type of surface. I haven't had enough time to be able to spend and actually test and do it. There's a lot of smart dudes that are going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
A lot of very, very smart dudes. A lot of guys like, I mean, I'm honored to be in their presence. I'm kind of like that adopted dork little brother that's like, yeah, that's our friend. That's our little brother. He don't have no dad or nothing. He's just there because he just does his own thing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel so out of place because none of my data could help them and none of their data could help me, right? Because I don't have traction control. I don't use the Holly.
Yeah, but they're all Fox bodies, half of them.
Yeah, right. So we could weight transfer and, you know, we could use all that stuff.
Tell me what you're doing with some bars, maybe.
Yeah, we could
something.
put a bar out there. And I don't have a 4-link car, though. It's not a 4-link car. It's a ladder bar car. So.
Oh, it's a ladder bar?
Yep.
I figured it was stock suspension.
It's a ladder bar car.
Okay, interesting.
So, that helps a lot, too, I think. It was funny when I got that roller, a lot of people were like, that car's never going to work. You're never going to be able to street race that car. It's a ladder bar car. And, man, that old ladder bar works pretty good, you know? That old tractor suspension be putting in work. So
yeah, I mean, I've seen some ladder bars be super impressive, even on radial stuff.
Yeah. And we've kind of modified the adjustment holes and stuff to where I have some adjustments up and down now just to try to figure out what's best. I mean, and Garrett here helped me in the very beginning with a lot of the learning the suspension and just setting up the chassis and mapping out the car and finding the instant center and the crank center and all that stuff. And that stuff's huge. that stuff's very important to, especially this type of racing that we do, the dirt road racing.
Yeah.
And it's not just power management, it's weight transfer and, how's your car set up and, and actually knowing what your car is going to do, what it's capable of. And there's a lot of guys that'll just throw a bunch of money at something and hope it's going to stick, and it doesn't. It's just not, it's not something that I feel that just anyone could do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, absolutely not. And that's why I keep thinking like tomorrow, like, oh, who's going to be like the, heavy hitters and stuff, but they kind of all are. I mean, across the board at least I know in rear wheel drive, everyone there has the chance to win.
Oh, for sure.
Someone like Charles and Patches, I always, they're a very successful program, and I'm pretty sure they're coming down, right? They just won, what did they just win? They just won.
I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't been following that stuff like everybody else's races too much. I've been so caught up with, I've been having like a month and a half battle with this car trying to get it to stay happy and whatnot. So, you could ask me who's on the list right now, and I wouldn't even be able to tell you. Besides, like the guys that are like buddies of mine, that friends or whatever. I know the normal guys, but unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to name anyone off. I do feel that like I probably have right now. I think that my program's struggling a lot more than it normally is, just because of everything that has, I guess, happened over the last month and a half. You know what I mean? Like we just
let's talk about your last month and a
let's
half.
just dump,
a little bit of parts failure.
Dive right into it. Yeah. So, we had a little local shop build us a 5.3 at first, and there was just a few things that were kind of hit and miss with it, and they were great people, whatever. And unfortunately, we just got some product that wasn't great, or whatever the case was. Who knows? And we battled for a few months with waiting on parts and parts failures and other failures and stuff, and it kind of got to the point where I was like, all right, this is kind of not good for either one of us. It's not good for my brand or your brand. If this is chalked up as just my bad luck, it's not good for you guys to want to be associated with helping me. So, I kind of went about my way and, went to another shop and had him help me out, and finally was able to get the bottom end stuff squared away to where the bottom end's happy. So after a month and a half of fighting with that, bottom end's happy, all new stuff, everything was good to go. And then we started having head gasket issues randomly.
On the same original 5.3?
It was a new block, new heads. And then we ended up having like some catastrophic failure where we had some like bearing issues where it ruined the crank and block twice. And we were running like a Manly forged crank, and so it ruined some parts a couple times.
So this is in the last month. We're already at what, block and crank number 2 or 3?
So right now I'm on 4.
4 in the last month.
Yep, month and a half. Yep. But like I said, it's just
and
kind
they're
of
stock 5.3s though. The block.
They're stockish 5.3s.
The block
LC9
is,
blocks.
Yeah.
LC9 blocks. Forged piston rod crank type deal.
Mm-hmm.
Just a max effort 5.3 build. Nothing out of the ordinary. And it's just kind of chalked up at you. You think you look at it and you're like, holy crap, what's going on? 4 or 5 motors, 6 motors, or whatever in a short amount of time. I just chalk it up as we just had a whirlwind of bad luck with a whole bunch of other stuff and with some diesel truck luck, and just I just chalk it up as, man, it was just our turn. Everybody has to take a turn, and we had such a successful 2-3 years of racing where I just left it in the garage and put fuel in it. That's all I did. I put fuel in it and I beat the crap out of it. Like I didn't even change spark plugs. Like I left it in the garage and I raced it.
Turbo life.
Yeah, it was just awesome. It was low maintenance, and I paint it, try to make it look all beautiful. And she been kicking me in the dick ever since. I don't know if we can say that on here, but she been fighting me ever since. We decided to make her pretty because she's been kind of less than stellar her whole life. We've been kind of known for, man, that guy's fast with a bucket of bolts. And if you go look at it, you're like, damn, why are you going that fast in this car, bro? Like, it's kind of rough, And the paint was rough. There was some safety stuff that we updated now, and it still needs a lot more. But there was a lot of stuff that we've updated and made it a lot nicer of a build. So anyway, back to the engines. We're struggling with some bottom end stuff. We went through some cranks and some blocks. Outlaw got my bottom end stuff squared away, bottom end solid, and then we randomly started having some top end issues where we're popping head gaskets. One of the instances where I went to test on my second test hit, we broke all of the converter bolts, and it hit the rev limiter. So you know what happens when you hit the rev limiter on a turbo nitrous deal or whatever, So it just torched that head, torched the block, torched the heads, which was the third block, and reworked set of Frankenstein M115s that I run. So it ruined them, and they were all brand new. Like, it was like literally the first outing testing, and we ate itself. And I'm like, what the fuck, So I'm not going to give up.
Expensive test hit.
Yeah, it was a very expensive test hit. But I'm like, man, I'm not going to give up. To be included, in my opinion, to be included in the 16 to race the all-wheel drive guys is huge to me. Just because of lacking the tools, lacking the knowledge, lacking what a lot of those guys have and what a lot of other people in the country have to still be chosen, because, I do feel we have a fast program for not a lot of fast parts. I was like, man, I'm making it. I don't care what I got to do. I'm making it. So, we load everything up. We head to Outlaw. I load everything up. We go to Phoenix. 16-hour drive there. I spend 3 or 4 days there. We go through everything. We go through trans. We go through converter. We go through the engine. So it's an all new block. Fix the heads. We put everything back together. Converter's all gone through. Trans is all gone through. I get home. We slam it back together. That night, we literally go out to Indian Valley to go test.
I think you brushed over also, you were in Dallas and you had to drive to Phoenix.
Yes.
Rebuild the engine and then drive back.
I live in Dallas, and the only reason why I had to do that, there's plenty of really awesome shops in Texas, for sure. Don't get me wrong.
Because that's a long drive right there.
I feel that, I didn't have such a good experience with the first shop out here, and that's nothing against anyone. Not anything against them, not anything against any other shop. It's just it wasn't a good experience for me, so I wanted to go back to something that I knew worked. Outlaw guys, when they helped me, my program was solid. Like I said, I left it in the garage, and I never did anything with it. Just raced it. So I said, screw it. Jason at Outlaw is a very good friend of mine. He's been watching me struggle, whatever, and he was like, bro, load that thing up. Bring that thing out here. Let's get that thing right. You have 2 weeks before this race, So I load everything up. I take off from Dallas. We drive 16 hours to Arizona. We spend 3 days out there, get everything fixed. 16 hours home. Literally the next day, we slam it all together. He came over, helped me. Our other boys helped us. Gerald, your brother helped us. Raska, of course, and a few other really good people. And literally that night, we take it out to test it. I make 2 hits on low boost, which is 10 pounds, then 15 pounds. And I add 25 pounds of dome. And I don't even get to make it 25 pounds into the run. It shits a head gasket out at 23 pounds. And I'm like, you got to imagine at this point, I'm like,
yeah.
All right, guys, what in the...
How's this possible?
Okay, so I'm like, all right, I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get upset. Screw it. I have a week to make it. We can still make it. I load everything back up in the truck, and I haul ass back to Outlaw because I torched the block. Then I torched the heads again, right? So I need another block, and I got to see if they can fix the heads. Can't fix the heads. So I have a loaner set of heads on. New block again, can't fix the block, whatever. So this is where block number 4 came in.
Somebody was bold to lend some heads.
Right? Very bold. Richard, I love you, bro. Thank you. Shout out to everyone at
Bold
Outlaw, too,
move.
man. Outlaw, they are always there to just make sure that I got what I need, man. So I appreciate those guys. So we load everything up. Like I said, we get there. They fix everything. They literally tear it apart one night, putting it back together the next morning. They stayed late, you know what I mean, just trying to help me so I can make it to this race. I drive home. So what day is it right now? This is Wednesday. So I drive home. Did I get home Friday, I think,
You got home
right?
Friday night.
I get home Friday night. I slam it all together, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to test Saturday and Sunday. We're leaving Monday to come out here. I go to test Saturday. First test hit. Shits a head gasket out on a brand new setup. Again, with borrowed heads and a new block. And I'm like, okay, guys, this is the definition of insanity now. We're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I had a lot of solid people reach out to me, like Casey Max, I had a Capizzi. I had a lot of solid people say, man, there's something wrong. It's not just a machine issue, which I never thought it was. I never thought it was a machine shop issue. It's not a tune issue. It's not hey, I grabbed a 50 shot on top of, 20 pounds of boost. It's nothing like that. You know what I mean? I've crammed 100 shot on top of 45 pounds of boost on my stock 5.3 for a year, and it ate it. It wanted more, So I knew that it was never that issue. And it's a bunch of freak things. Like how do all the converter bolts break? You know what I mean? How do the welds on the reluctor wheel break and it, spins the reluctor? There's just so many freak things that happen that I just chalk it up to my bad luck,
Just the weirdest coincidences one after another, which probably makes it look like you have no idea what you're doing, but it's just these freak things.
And then I'm asking myself, like, dude, do I not have any idea what I'm doing? Like, I know I tightened the converter bolts. They're still Loctite in them. How the heck do grade 8 converter bolts break, How do the welds where on a reluctor wheel on a crank, when they're welded, an inch on both sides, how does that snap and break? Like, how does that break and you retard your reluctor wheel? So just a whole whirlwind of goofy stuff. So I gave up. After that happened on Saturday, they were with me.
I was thinking back on it. It was actually Sunday night.
It was Sunday.
Because we were supposed to leave Monday morning.
Yeah.
And whenever we were leaving Indian Valley where we were testing, we already knew, like, he's already telling us, well, so much for Florida,
I'm done.
We're done.
I was like, I'm thousands upon thousands of dollars invested in just trying to get a motor to stay together on top of travel money and staying out there and missing work, Thank God Nitrous Express is awesome. They say, hey, man, no problem. You need to handle your stuff. I'm not there. I don't have a paycheck. I mean, you can't expect to get paid if you're not there working. It's common sense, right? And I don't expect that. I'm taking a solid week off to go play with cars. You know what I mean? So it just was an all-around, just a combination of a bunch of bad luck and goofy stuff. So I gave up. I did. And Sunday night, I told these guys, like, I'm done. I'm throwing in the towel. I texted Joey. I said, hey, man, I'm not going to make it, bro. Like, I'm supposed to leave tomorrow. I've exercised all my entities. Like, I'm done. I don't know what else to do.
About this time, it was like 8:30 at night. Just getting dark. We're heading home. He drops me off on the way home. And then we get a text, hey, meet us at the shop. We're turning it back apart. We're going to try one more time.
So that night, I get home and so do you edit your stuff here?
No.
Okay, well, I'm not going to talk about that kind of stuff on here then. So I went home and had a safety meeting and changed my thought process, right?
Okay.
And I called these guys and I said, all right, screw it. Let's try one more time. And they said, okay, sweet. Bring the car out here. So I said, all right, man, I'm going to look over some data real quick and then I'll be out there. I look over the data and I'm like, I call him back. Guys, we're not going. And he's like, okay, bro, you're playing with our emotions. What's going on?
We're at the gate waiting on him.
Like, what are you doing? And I said, well, I just looked at my data and I have a converter problem or a trans problem. Like, my high gear's done. High gear's gone or converters, it's pushing through the converter, which I don't think so. I think it's high gear's gone because just rushing everything, I might have made one or two passes without putting half the fluid in it that it needs to have.
Yeah, power glides tend to like a lot of fluid.
And obviously, it's been a tornado of craziness, right? So I made a mistake. Like, I made a mistake. I didn't put fluid in the trans. I cooked my own trans. Brand new. Hughes bent over backwards to build it for me, and I freaking forgot. I put 4 quarts in it and was supposed to go get more and forgot, So I went and made 2 test hits and killed it. My boy here says, hey, man, I'm not letting you give up. I have a brand new Reed Power Glide. We'll have your old... he bought my old converter, so he says, we have your old converter. That way we'll put the trans and converter. That way you're not guessing. If you think it's your trans and you use your converter, we do all this work and your converter's slipping. So put your old converter in, put my trans in. I have head gaskets. He called in some favors with some buddies at a local machine shop there to get the heads resurfaced in Wichita Falls. They got them back to us we dropped them off by 10 o'clock and they were done by 11:30.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
22 thousandths off both heads, you know what I mean? Fixed, ready to go, done. We slammed it back together. All of us rallied, the guys I mentioned earlier, Raska, Rudy, Gerald, all them guys, everybody, Cody, everybody rallied. My boy Kyle came and helped, and we got it done. We went and we made 1 test hit in front of the shop, and it went a very respectable number, I think, and I said, sweet, we're leaving it alone. I pulled a bunch of timing out of it, so we're not riding kind of the edge. I didn't pull timing out of it. I don't even know how to do that, but
timing was pulled out.
They pulled some timing for me, you know what I mean? We did do a few other preventative things after talking to Ryan Mitchell and stuff, like at making sure like some of my smart coil wires aren't touching each other, and there's some other wires that are isolated and stuff, and some stuff that maybe could be receiving some interference or some noise. So knock on wood, it did good on that pass. I stayed in it for a quarter mile on the street. As I said, screw it. If it's going to blow up, it's going to blow up here before we drive to Florida. Knock on wood, it seemed to be good. It we rolled the plugs out of it. Everything looked happy. It looked very, very, very safe. So we'll see what happens.
That was my first thought. I was actually talking to Jimmy Dale last night on the phone, and I was like, we were talking about your car, and I was like, man, he looks like he's had such bad luck. I was like, there's got to be like a wiring harness issue or something with that.
It's just got to be something. So like we started brainstorming on stuff that I've changed within the last, when we tore it all the way down for body and paint and everything, we put new quarters on it. Well, I decided, all right, well, we're going to upgrade to smart coils, and we're going to put a smart coil harness, and we're going to do this, and we're going to put a dominator in it. And I've changed so much stuff. It's hard to pinpoint, so we've just been trying to go back and make sure, did we accidentally miss a wire? Did we miss a ground? Did we miss something that was supposed to be wired differently? All the settings in the Holly, all that stuff are fine, but I really firmly believe I got some solid dudes helping me now, or they have been helping me, and we really feel that there's just some kind of ignition interference issue, that it's just getting some noise from the outside somewhere, or auto firing somehow. I know that there's some issues with that out there, and I checked into some of the other people's issues with auto firing, and we don't have those same problems that they had, so I could rule out some of the things that they had, without saying anything bad.
Yeah, or like an injector issue or something.
And my boy Kyle's, he owns fuel injection innovations, and he services all my injectors. He services all the billet atomizers and stuff for a bunch of people, and he's solid with them. He just went through them because I did have two of them. That was another thing I forgot to add. In the midst of all that, after the second motor got built, for whatever reason, we go to start it up and the atomizer's hung open and it hydrolocked. So we had to tear it all the way back apart again and fix it, Yep. Luckily, we were able to reuse everything. We just put all new bearings and everything like that, but it's still tearing it apart, putting it back in, know. So, man, you kind of forget the journey you take until you're starting to relive it again, right? Like, I totally forgot that we hydrolocked it.
Wearing out those bell housing bolts on that.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it was just, it was crazy. But I didn't want to give up, man. I didn't want to miss out on my opportunity to try to be here and represent and just be on this stage, you know what I mean? To be on this level with all these other guys, with those all-wheel drive guys, they're bad. You know what I mean? Like, everyone, I think, on the list is a killer. And, I not tooting my own horn, but I think I am in my own aspect as well. Like, I think everyone on that list is fast. Everyone on that list is someone I wouldn't want to race.
Yep.
And everyone on that all-wheel drive list is someone that I wouldn't want to draw.
Oh, I was just thinking that all-wheel drive race has a lot of really fast cars.
It's funny because my boy Miles is on that. I think he's on that team, and we've raced before. We've raced on Hoonigan. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Oh, I didn't realize you and Miles raced on that deal.
Yeah, what happened on that race, Miles?
Did you gap him?
Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't gap him, but I beat him. It was a good race. Miles is a buddy. I just like to give him crap. You know what I mean?
He's been on the show before.
I know he's gonna want his revenge. I'll be surprised if tomorrow he doesn't try to call me out first round or something like that, because he's dying for his revenge, I'm sure, So.
Yeah.
But
his car's fast.
Fast.
I think it went 750 in Maryland in the quarter. Like, that thing's fast.
My Fox body will fall apart if I try to go in the quarter mile, bro. So I ain't trying to do all that 7-second stuff.
Got to tape your headlights like he did.
Yeah, I think I have a lot more to tape than headlights. I got you'll see it. I'm not gonna talk crap about my car, but it's got holes in the floorboard, and it's just it's a raggedy old Fox body, bro. It shouldn't be doing what it's doing, but. That's the whole premise of my program and me and my motivation, and I know I'm not going to be remembered for being the fastest dude in this industry, for sure. I don't have the budget to be the fastest guy. I'm just going to be real. I don't have the brains to be the fastest guy. I don't. There's a lot of guys that are very, very smart in this industry and racing with us and doing what we do. But I will be remembered for being that guy that made you laugh and made you remember why you got into this hobby. A lot of people are so quick to flip a switch, and we take it seriously. There's a lot of us that do it full time for a living. There's a lot of us that are involved full time in this industry for a living, whether you're working at Nitrous Express and racing cars on the side, or whether you race full time, or whatever the case is. There's a bunch of us, that make a living in this industry and racing and all of this hobby or whatever. And a lot of us, I think, are so quick to forget why we all started this, or why this whole industry, why this whole hobby was even started. Because a couple of guys were hanging in their garage one day and said, hey, Hey, Bill, my Mustang over there is fixing to gap your Camaro over there. You want to go out there in the back 40? I'm finna fuck you up. You know, like, dude, it was just, it's a premise of goofing around with your friends and making memories. That's this whole entire industry. Everything about this industry is built off of that. And a lot of people forget that. A lot of people forget the love for the industry. A lot of people forget the love for the sport. For what we're doing, making memories, traveling to Florida with your boys and making memories and doing some goofy stuff that you might not ever have the opportunity to do again. Life is short and life is precious. You never know. God rest Nate's soul. I know for a fact he would be here if he was here. You know what I mean? Life is short. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it makes me sad that, the My Little Pony won't be there racing.
It does. I mean, he'll be there, but the car won't be there. I know Nate will be there for sure. I know he will.
Him and that car would have been.
They would have
first
been
on property.
Killers. They would have been killers for sure. And he was a big part of helping me understand that. Like, yeah, he was serious. Everywhere he went, Nate was serious. If you're racing, it's serious. It's a business. Like, to him, it's a business. You're doing it for a living. But he still never forgot the camaraderie or I'll take the shirt off my back to help you. Like, yes, we're about to race, but if you need a coupler that I have, here's the coupler. Now let's race. I want to race you. Like, I want to race you to race each other and to have that memory of racing each other, to see who was faster at that time, to prove that I was faster than you or whatever.
I want to, no question, I want to prove that you were 100% when we raced too.
But he never forgot the camaraderie that went with it, the brotherhood or whatever to say, like, or per se, like the happiness that you should feel. You shouldn't get in your car and be stressed and feel like, man, this is just stressing me the hell out. I'm not having fun. It starts to not be fun when you really start to take it too seriously, and I'm guilty of it. I'm 100% guilty of just letting it engulf me and just stressing the heck out and just like, man, what am I going to do with this or what am I going to do with that? And, at the end of the day, I just got to sit back and think, man, this is a hobby that I have turned into making a living out of from hanging out with my boys in the garage and getting a bug bit of throwing bolt-ons on cars and running Saturday nights, beating on our cars, racing the same friends. But it all stems from the same thing and the same love for the sport or passion for the sport, Yep. And I think that, like, if a lot of people remembered that or started to kind of implement that or just thought about that, I think there'd be a significant amount less drama or a significant amount less. Because let's face it, if you look at social media with any of our racing posts, there's a lot of positives, but there's a bunch of negatives and there's a bunch of drama that comes with it. And it gets old, Like, it gets old after a while. It gets old people trying to worry about other people's personal stuff or anything. Man, we're racing, bro. We're having fun. We started this because I thought my car was faster than yours. I don't care about nothing else. And a lot of people, I think, need to remember that. And it helped me a ton, just trying to remember to have fun.
Yeah, it's become like a big pissing contest.
Yeah, it is. It has. It's
not as exciting.
It makes it not fun for a lot of people, you know? So that's why I tell all my boys, just remember to have fun, man. Yeah, you might go out there and you might lose first round. You might go out there and you might make it to the semifinals. You might win.
Like, someone's going to lose first round.
Someone's got to lose and someone has to win.
Half of the people will lose first round.
The way that you go home and the way that you carry yourself is 100% entirely up to you. Use my situation that I just went through for a prime example. I wanted to give up several times. I spent money I should not have spent to come to a race to race cars. There's people that are struggling with significantly far better or far more significant problems than me making it to a race to race with my friends. You know what I mean? So I had to take a day and sit back and just be like, man, this is fun. I'm doing this because I want to have fun doing this. And, I want the memories after. I want to sit back in a couple of years and be like, hey, remember when we thrashed? Yeah, we might only go 1 round or 2 rounds or, we might not have the issue fixed. We think we do. We might only go 1 or 2 rounds, but at least we busted our asses. We tried. We made it there. We made memories as a group that are irreplaceable. They're priceless. And the people, the fans, the people that motivate me. Like, that's what motivates me daily is the fans and watching people, all the followers and everything like that. Watching them comment and just tell me that I motivate them motivates me like crazy. So them knowing that I push through all the negative and all the bull crap and all the I wanted to give up several times. You know what I mean? Engine number 3, 4, 5. Like, all right, come on, man. But it's worth it in the end. You just stick to it and push through it, and don't give up and fight for some stuff. Fight for something that you love. You know what I mean? And the rewards are beautiful. And the rewards are beautiful. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna go and I'm gonna gap everyone tomorrow and I'm winning. The rewards are beautiful because we had a crap load of trials and tribulations to make it here. We fought through them, and we made it here with a running car that we're going to pull up to the line tomorrow and race. And I hope that whoever I'm racing is on their game. I hope I'm on my game, and I hope that they're on their game,
Mm-hmm.
That's a win in my book. We're not coming with a car that's hurt, that we're, we're just going to idle and we're not racing. You can have it. Like, we're not coming to just watch because we couldn't get our car going. We left it, and we just here for support. Like, we busted our asses and we fought to get a competitive car ready, and we made it. Like, that's a huge hurdle right there.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a huge part of it. Just getting into the gates is a tough part of racing that most people that don't race don't realize is such a tough part of racing.
It really is, man. It really is. And I mean, that's just, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to kind of put that out there. I have a really goofy side. I'm a goofball all the time. Like, I love making people laugh. That's all I really want out of life. Like, I tell people all the time, I'm here for the smiles per gallon, bro. Like, I'm here to make every one of you guys laugh so that you remember. You might think of something a week from now and be like, you remember when you freaking... Right now is a prime example. We're hanging out in the Airbnb, and I run in there and I throw ice water on my boy, and he's in the shower. You know what I mean? But it's just the goofball stuff that you do, because in a month from now, you're gonna laugh about that.
I still don't look at bacon the same from that video you made a long time ago. You're like, oh, you don't like bacon?
Oh yeah,
I still don't. Every time I see bacon, I think about it.
Yeah, like the Effinghams, that whatever that city was or whatever. Yeah, I'm just a goofball. You know what I mean? It's just you got to have humor in this stuff. And I've really tried to push that for so long. Like, you gotta laugh at yourself. You gotta have, smile. But I've really kind of grown to realize that there's a little bit more that comes with that. It's not just laughing at yourself. It's actually remembering and enjoying everything, and not just taking everything to its full effect or its, full seriousness or anything.
Yeah, well, anybody who's out racing and is not enjoying that moment of racing should probably take a step back from racing.
Yeah.
And reevaluate why they're doing it.
Yep.
Because if you're not having fun doing it, you really shouldn't.
Yeah, you
shouldn't keep doing it. You need to figure out why you're not having fun doing it, or take a break or something, because it should be enjoyable.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be.
It's a hobby. At the end of the day, it's a hobby. And it's a very fun hobby, very expensive, very addicting hobby. But
maybe that's why people end up not having fun with it, because they get too competitive.
And I could see that. I could full-heartedly feel it. It does. It gets to a point where it consumes you. Like, it will overtake you, and you're just like, man, I want to go out there. I want to be the best, or I want to do this, and it does consume you. So it's just nice to take a step back every once in a while and just kind of remember the basics is all. Yeah.
So you were saying you were in Phoenix, and then you moved to DFW area?
Yeah, I live in Wichita Falls now.
Okay.
A couple hours north of DFW.
Okay, so you moved there. Did you move there for Nitrous Express?
Yeah, basically it was kind of like a 50-50 type thing. So I had these goals to be involved in the race world and just kind of make a name for myself, and that smiles to the gallon that we were just talking about, right? And just kind of to be out there, and where better to do that than in the mecca of street racing or racing in general. The West Coast, it's a lot of great people, but they really lack in the event category. There's not a lot of races that happen. We were traveling a lot. There's just not a lot of stuff that goes on. The tracks, they don't do a lot of stuff. There's not a lot of NoPrep stuff that goes on. When they do have races, there's a lot of rules. Like, you're not allowed to stand on the starting line. You got to... Like, they have, like, barricades where it's... I mean, I get the safety of it, but look how many tracks back here do that. Like, there's... The starting line's flooded with people.
Yeah.
Yes, knock on wood, there's been 1 or 2 accidents or little mishaps, but to me, that's the vibe.
That's that dude that got hit by a Nova and
War in the Woods, yeah. But to me, that's the vibe, right? Like, that's the vibe. You pull up, like, essentially looking at a sea of people, and you see, like, people side betting on you, side betting on the other car, or... For me, like, I love every aspect of this racing. I love all of it. So to see people that are like, oh my gosh, that car's faster than this car, or see people that are confident and they're betting on me. It's amazing. I love that. I love all of that feeling. So to me, like when you go to the West Coast and you go to some of these races and the fans aren't allowed to be right there, or they're not allowed to be on their line betting and all that stuff, that's huge. Like that side betting stuff really it motivates me as a driver. You know what I mean? It helps me, like, I wouldn't say it helps me stay concentrated or anything like that, but it helps me want to push my program and continue to excel and just kind of put on a show for the people, I guess you'd want to say. You know what I mean?
It stresses me out a little when people are too close to the burnout box where I'm trying to do a burnout.
I get that.
And it's like, all right, guys, come on. As a spectator, I wouldn't stand that close to some of these cars doing burnouts. So I'm like, you guys are crazy, first off.
That's the way I think, too.
But then sometimes you're looking through your windshield and they're like, crowding the car.
For sure. Like, well, you have you look through and you're like, okay, I have a little narrow window to try to keep this thing straight to do a burnout.
Yeah, hopefully this thing stays straight.
I've always told all my guys too, because they're like, man, you're really close to all these people. And I said, man, if they're going to step in the way, they're going to step in the way. I'm not going to deviate my program because of them. I'm not going to do less of a burnout or do a half-ass burnout or anything like that. Like, I'm letting this bitch eat. And if someone's in the way and they get hit, bro, you should have been parked there. You know, in all reality, you should have been parked there. Like, just get out of the way. I know everyone wants to stand there and watch cars, but the whole point of why you're there and standing there is to watch cars. So get out of the damn way and let the cars race. If you couldn't hear
a car doing a burnout, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, like it always gets me so. It's the funniest thing where we've been to so many different races where it's like spectators will try to park right in the racers' pits, or they'll try to park and make it to where the racers got to park in the back 40, but the spectators' cars are right there. Well, why are your spectators there?
Yeah.
Without the racers, why are you there? You should want to get the out of the way and give right away to the racers. Let them have the better pit spots. Don't park your cars in their pit spots, or don't try to block them in the lanes and do all this stuff. Like, at the end of the day, the spectators are there to watch us race. We can't race if you're in the damn way, boy.
I've heard that many times too. They're over the announcement.
They'll get mad. They'll start to fight you, or they'll get mad and they'll get pissed off. And it's like, why are you mad? Why are you here? You're here to watch racing, but you're holding racing up. Does that make any sense? You know.
I feel like we do also. Me and you race at very different tracks.
Yes, for sure.
For the most part.
For sure.
Like, I've never raced at a Yellow Belly type of track or those type of things.
Are you coming to Yellow Belly?
I want to go for the April race.
Yeah.
I was telling Jimmy, I was like, I really feel like I should just fly in for the day.
Oh, man, bring a car.
I don't really have anything that would get down well. Maybe the Mustang.
Yeah, the Mustang, I'm sure, would fit some of the classes. They have a lot of classes. That's the cool thing about those guys.
Like a foot brake class, maybe, because it's a supercharged car, so you can foot brake it.
Yeah, for sure. That's the cool thing.
But
there's a decent amount of options there. There's some classes for everyone. So
yeah. Well, shout out to Jimmy's event. What is it? They call it Small Tire Gangsters, but this one has its own name, right? Don't they all have their own? I thought it had something.
Oh yeah, like Rags to Riches, and one was Struggle City, and
what is it? April 15th?
Yeah, I know it is April 15th. My boys are gonna have to forgive me because I don't remember what the code name or the sub name for this.
Tried to plug it a little bit here for him and really just flopped.
Well, we got the date right.
It'll be at Yellow Belly.
I flopped worse than you did. I see these guys on a daily basis.
And you're probably racing it.
I can't even think straight right now, man. I'm still on an hour of sleep since Monday or so. Yeah, Monday. We're on an hour of sleep. So like I said, we fixed everything. We made a test hit, loaded everything in the trailer, and we literally hit the road.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I am going to race it. I am going to be there. I love their events, man. Even before I moved out here to work with them guys or whatever, or work with NX, we traveled out from Phoenix and we went down to Yellow Belly for the first Small Tire Gangsters, and it was a great time.
Yeah.
It was freaking awesome. I mean, that's kind of what gave me that little itch to golly, there's racing going on out here all the time. So I worked at Outlaw Race Engines. I sold parts for them. I was the shop manager. We sold parts. They work on cars. They build cars. They dyno. They do machine work. Basically, you name it, they do it. It was awesome. I loved it. It was a great job, great people. I just felt that I couldn't excel in the racing career at the time because there wasn't a lot of racing in the area. And that was basically 80% of the motive for wanting to move. I just thought I had such a solid race car that I left in the garage for 2 years and beat the crap out of that I thought, all right, I'm moving out here and we're going to accelerate our program to the next level. We're going to beat the crap out of it and we're going to excel. And we found Struggle City.
But it's been a better town and city to live in than Phoenix for the racing.
For racing purposes, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
just to be able to travel from Wichita Falls, I can go 2 hours to Yellow Belly. I could test at the local track, WRP. We could drive 40 minutes to Indian Valley or Nakona. You know, we could drive an hour and a half or 2 hours to
Thunder Valley.
Thunder Valley. Thank you. So I have a brain
Abilene.
for it. Yeah, Abilene. I mean, there's so many really awesome tracks, so close. Hobbs isn't that far. You know, it's 4 hours. There's so many options that are. I'm a weirdo, man. I'll get in the truck and drive. I don't have any problem driving. I mean, I drove to Arizona 2 times in a week for a 5.3, for Christ's sakes, you know? So I don't have any problem driving. So to be able to get in the truck on a weekend and drive 3 to 4 hours and have any type of racing you want. You want fly trap? You want to go race your radio car? XRP every single weekend, no problem. You go to XRP, there might not be an event, but it's open for test and tune. Or you just wait, and there's always usually some smaller events. You want to race your marginal NoPrep car or whatever, Yellow Belly's perfect. You know, you want to race your marginal slick or somewhat radio car or whatever, Yellow Belly's awesome. You know, you want to try your hand at some really crappy asphalt, Indian Valley's perfect for that. I love the diversity of options that are available around Texas, and then being centrally located to, like, bro, that drive here from Arizona would have sucked.
That would have been a long ass drive.
Oh, it was 22 hours just from Texas to here. So I can't imagine. And it's 15 hours from my spot in Texas to where we are in Arizona. So I couldn't imagine that drive.
Well, that's why I didn't go to TX2K, because even to you, it's 22 hours.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. But I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I would still do it. I would do it tomorrow. If I got the opportunity to go racing something in Phoenix tomorrow and it was like, all right, I'm down, you know?
Well, for you, I mean, come summer, all the racing's kind of in, like, Ohio, Kentucky, North Carolina for your style racing. So what do? Do you make those travels, or do you just have to skip a bunch? Or
No, there was a decent amount of NoPrep stuff still. Like, since I moved out here.
I guess a lot of the big stuff starts to go on during the summer.
Yeah, like, I mean, I still traveled. Like, I went to War in the Woods, went to Gangster's Paradise. Like, I look forward to traveling to a lot of those similar style NoPrep events. I think this last year we moved out here and we didn't have to worry about, hey, what are we going to do for these races because it's hot or they're not racing local. You got to go to South Carolina because we've been battling a freaking motor issue. You know what I mean? We've been battling trying to get this dang car right. So I haven't really had to worry about, like, all right, well, what are we going to gear up for now, or what are we going to do? It seems like there's a pretty steady amount of options, you know, and Paul and Tom are helping provide some options with the little gangsters class and all the stuff that they're doing. And so there's plenty of options out there.
Yeah.
And, you know, if there's not a heads-up NoPrep small tire thing that I'm going to, I really like 26s. Like, I love that tire. I love the 2685. Oh, my gosh, I love that tire.
Yeah, it's a cool tire.
That's an awesome class, I think, too.
Such an equalizer.
Yeah, I love it. So if I'm not going to do a 28 NoPrep or a 26 NoPrep, you could jump into the 530 index-style class. You know, there's so many options, and that's what I like about it. West Coast didn't have that.
Yeah.
You're starting to see a little bit of it implemented, but it's still nothing like... I mean, you could come out here and race, not here, but you could come to Texas or probably anywhere in the Midwest or this whole area and race every weekend if you wanted to. If you were the type of person that was looking for a race every weekend and you didn't mind traveling or whatever, like, you know, I'm pretty confident you could probably find a race dang near every weekend or something to do.
Yeah.
Go test at Yellow Belly, maybe get a grudge race or go to XRP. I mean, there's something to do every weekend.
Hopefully it ramps up in Florida, because I'd like to get to that same level around here. You know, we have a lot of racing. We got radial racing, but that's kind of the extent
right?
of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of radio racing here. There's a lot of fast radio cars
It's
here.
mostly radial racing between South Georgia, Bradenton, and Orlando is pretty much just radial tracks. We had Immokalee, which did the north versus south, but now they're kind of shutting down, or they're having weird stuff. I don't know what's going on there. But otherwise, that's kind of the main part of it. There's also Showtime, but they had a problem where one of the cars at the No Time crashed, and then they shut the gates and told everyone to leave. So it's like, well, you can't really count on that.
Yeah.
It's like
Crazy.
if a car crashes, you're gonna kick everyone out.
Yeah, that's not usually how that works, but
It seems a little odd, but
yeah,
it is
whatever.
what it is.
You guys do you, I
Yeah.
guess. So
Well, I know you gotta get some sleep, so I'm gonna wrap this up for us here. Where can people follow you at? Where can people keep up with the journey at? What would you want to plug?
man, it's pretty simple. I tried to make it simple. You could go to any social media platform and type Hate Train Fox. That's H and then the number 8 Train Fox. And it'll come up on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. We try to be very active on all of our social media stuff. So, and then as always, you guys could always, get a hold of me at Nitrous Express too. I'd love to help you guys out with any of your Nitrous Express needs. I know our boy Jimmy's already out there doing it, but if maybe there were some people that might like the mustache a little better, bro. You never know.
That's true. That's
like,
true.
hello, officer. Can I buy a nitrous system from you? You
They
know?
may not trust a small block Ford owner.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, he's got a small block Chevy.
Oh, it is a small block Chevy.
It's a small block Chevy, yeah. Which,
Well,
I still don't know.
the brown car is technically a small block Ford, right? The 50 Shades of Brown.
Oh, yeah. I see.
It's a small block Ford, yeah.
Yep,
But
I
then,
gotcha.
yeah, Magic.
Man, I love that car.
Well, actually, he even got
rid.
rid of Magic's small block Chevy now.
Yep.
He waffled her off. It's gone.
He did. Who knows what's going back in it? You never know.
It'll probably be a 2J.
Oh, man. Is that what you've been doing? You've been helping him? I heard it was going to be an LS. I heard Jimmy Dale was going to LS swap Magic.
He called me last night at 10 o'clock at night. I was laying in bed. It was like 11:30. And he's like, man, there's this 2J like for sale really cheap around me. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? You're not
What
putting
are
a
you
2J
doing?
in anything
Yeah.
you own. He's like, it's just a good deal. I'm like, you're not putting a 2J
Yeah,
in.
stop, dude.
Yeah.
Stop. No.
Like, it doesn't make sense. Just stop.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, you can hit up all of our socials, and we're trying to push through the journey. I'm trying to focus on the YouTube stuff a lot more this year. I've kind of been hit and miss on it, and consistency is key with that stuff for sure. So I appreciate this opportunity to come on here and be able to plug it. It's amazing. Thank you very much. And we just got to stick with it. Like that's just the biggest thing is consistency is key. So
Yeah.
We're definitely trying to stick with the YouTube stuff this year and put a solid year of effort into it and just look back at the end of the year and say, okay, we really focused on it. Was it worth it? Was it not? I love the fan interaction. That's basically like, it's cool. I'm sure a lot of the guys that are kind of content creator, racers, whatever you want to say, I'm sure they all make a couple ducats every month right off social media stuff. That's not what I do it for. I do it because I love reading everyone's reactions. I try to go and read everyone's comments. I try to comment back. Like I try to interact with everyone. I enjoy that. Like I love that. I love getting opinions and comments from all walks of life. That to me is very enjoyable. I love reading the little stories that people post and the negative comments too. I love it. They give me a chuckle. You know what I mean? I had someone tell me on the other day, you lost your touch 6 years ago. I'm like, bro, I didn't even. Hey, bro, I didn't race 6 years ago.
6 years ago. Guys been keeping up, man.
Yeah, and I'm like, I want to say you've been a fan for 6 years because you're
Guys
still
well
here.
informed.
Like,
He's been really on it.
The good, the bad, the ugly. I love all of it. I love every aspect of all of this stuff. I don't plan on going anywhere. I throw a temper tantrum and might get mad at my little 5.3 every once in a while. Just another excuse to coyote swap it, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I hate when I hear guys say little 5.3. I got a 3-liter.
Okay.
You guys can't be over here saying my little 5.3.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
then you're talking to a coyote, it's even smaller.
It is smaller for sure. But, I mean, big things come in small packages, bro. That's
The heads are about yay big, but
my head's this big, so it matches.
it
You know what I'm
fits.
saying? Like,
slide a coyote right in there. Call it a day.
But, yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I'm sorry I feel like, I was kind of out of it or a zombie or whatever. Normally I'm more of a goofball and try to make people laugh, but, man, making that drive just has me like, I feel like I'm Biden up here about to give a speech to America, So
Yeah, this is your State of the Union.
the card
he
over there
went
is
there.
not. I can't read what you guys are trying to tell me to say, so I'm just gonna talk about some random stuff.
We'll just use AI voice over on
perfect.
anything that
Thank
was
you.
weird or anything.
Thanks. Thank you, man.
Good
for
deal.
sure.
All right, guys. I'll let you get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.